So I want everybody to be at their best. Now, post Medbed, you should be at your best. If you need the Medbed, if you're old enough to be a little crumbly and you've got some issues and problems and so on, that's going to be important. You will get in there and you'll come out pretty much. Most people I know are saying, yeah, I want to go back to 28. That's a good time. That's what I'm told where you can go back to, age of 28. Now, that's biologically. Chronologically, you're still 60, 70, 80 years old. When you get to 80 and more, you can come back a total of 50 years. So let's say you're 81, you can get back to 31. 31. Sorry, my math is off. If you're 81, you drop it all the way back to 31. Can you imagine? I think that's great. Your 89-year-old Bob, should he decide to get in the Medbed, comes back to 39. That's pretty cool. And we're going to age at a much slower rate. The Medbeds have been set for us to age at 1 year for every 15 years of time. So in 150 years, you would age 10 years. I'm looking forward to it, you guys. I'm not going to hide that. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, let's get into where we are intel-wise, okay? We did hear that the quantum financial system is fully integrated. We keep hearing that, but I believe now it's completed. As of 5 p.m. today, everything was totally synced up. That was Eastern time. Everything was fully synced and lined up and ready to go. We also heard they have our quantum cards delivered to the redemption centers. We kind of talked a little bit about that. I think it was on Tuesday, or maybe last week it was. And our quantum cards have our names on them already. They're expecting us to go to the redemption center closest to the zip code where we live, most likely. And that's why they sent those to the redemption centers. They also have our so-called digital golden wallets ready. And that's what they're talking. I said, well, are we talking about cryptocurrency here? No. This is talking about the quantum account card would go in that. That's what we use with the biometrics. Everything's lined up. Biometrics, our new username, password, the 5-digit PIN code that we come up with, and a new email and email password. Those 6 points are what determines our quantum card. So we can access our quantum accounts and move funds into our bank accounts. Initially, we'll be able to move pretty good sum that will last us easily for the first 60 days. And then after that 60-day period, they're telling us we will have access to all of our exchange. Now, there are no structured settlements. That was old school. That was old stuff we heard a long time ago. It was from the deep state. It's going to be really, really good. And we're going to have plenty of opportunity to move funds into our account. We understand 3 different banks tied to the quantum card. So I'm using Wells, and then maybe add 1 or 2 more banks to it down the road. No rush to do it. You're also going to get a debit credit card that you will use like you use your debit or credit card now. That would be a Wells Fargo bank credit debit card. Okay, because the quantum account, you don't buy anything with it. It's kept in a very safe location. And you only use it when you're moving funds from your quantum account into your bank account or accounts. So just get that clear in your minds how that's going to work. Now, everything is lined up and ready for us. President Trump, after he made his Oval Office press conference, let's call it today, with the UK, the United Kingdom, which is 4 countries. It's England, it's Wales, it's Ireland, and Scotland. Those 4 countries make up the UK, the United Kingdom. So we have a trade deal that they put together. This is the first official post-tariff trade deal that's been put together that was announced today. Everybody was happy. The UK representatives were happy. President Trump was happy. We're all looking good. And that's just one of probably 100 deals that'll be done. 100 deals. Now, let me not get too far ahead of myself. Talking about trade, our Treasury Secretary, and I've heard one other announcer say Scott Bessent, like I say it. Most people say Bessent, but I like Bessent. I'm sorry, Scott. Scott Bessent is heading over to Switzerland. He probably is already on his way to meet with representatives from China to try to put a China trade deal together. And I think he'll do a wonderful job at that. And there may be some other people. I'm sure there are other people in his group that will help assist that. President Trump, on the other hand, after this speech today at press conference, was on his way to Qatar. And remember, it's Quatar, I believe how it's spelled. Qatar, it's not Qatar. Qatar is Cutter, and that's a mosquito spray. Qatar, okay? This is Qatar, and that's how it's pronounced. Qatar was his first stop, and then his next stop is Saudi Arabia, and we think his third stop is Iraq. And what would he do from Iraq tomorrow? We're hearing tomorrow at approximately 10 o'clock. It's not an official time. Approximately 10 o'clock Eastern. We believe President Trump will be making an announcement about the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar. He's going to be in Iraq. And who will he accompany him? President Soudani probably, could be CBI Representatives Alak, or maybe even Sinon al-Shabibi. Maybe more. But I think we're looking for an announcement tomorrow about the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar, which has already taken place. Secondly, we're looking for something regarding Nesara and Gesara, an announcement about that. Maybe just a brief overview, maybe no depth on it. So just something there. So there's 1, 2, 3. He's also, we believe, going to announce the revaluation of currencies under the global currency reset. You might use that terminology, could use something different. But basically announce that. And then the next possible announcement is about a peace deal with Hamas and Israel. So that area can be started to be rebuilt. The difference between Palestine and Israel. And I don't know. I know that we've got a 3-day ceasefire going on in the Ukraine with Russia. Russia did not want to agree to a 30-day ceasefire, but I'm hoping that can be massaged a little bit. Maybe we can get to that. President Trump hates to hear about the war that's going on between Russia and Ukraine and all the people up to about, he said, averaging about 5,000 young people dying every week over there. He said a real number could be more, is what he said today. So that's definitely something we want to get moved beyond. But the theory is that we get this announcement in Iraq tomorrow, and then we get notified shortly thereafter, and we start setting our appointments and beginning to exchange. Now, beyond that, I can tell you that Redemption Center personnel that we know of are on call, but going in at 9:30 tomorrow into the Redemption Center. I'm trying to justify those two concepts. They're on call, but you're going in at 9:30 in the morning tomorrow. Okay, I'm just going to say they're going in at 9:30. Now, Saturday, these same individuals in the Redemption Centers are going in at 9:15 a.m. on Saturday. Now, if we go Friday or we go Saturday, are we going to continue to go through Sunday? I don't know. It is Mother's Day, after all, so I'm going to leave that one open. We don't know. Theoretically, they would go right on through and include Sunday, and people would exchange and still have a Mother's Day celebration, maybe even a bigger one after they exchange. So, not sure about Sunday, but we do know Redemption Centers are planning to stay open for the most part, not everywhere, but for the most part, until the end of the month, which is May 31st, a Saturday. Okay? This month should be colossal for us. It should be abundant for us. We should get increases in Social Security. Our Doge payment checks are supposed to be in the mail in the first 2 weeks. Well, we're wrapping up 1 week Saturday, and then the next week starts Sunday. So if you don't have one by the weekend, maybe you'll get a check next week. And then don't forget the R&R, restitution and reclamation allowance, or whatever R's you like. That's supposed to be, for those of us who are exchanging, supposed to be at the redemption center. When we go in, we should ask about it. And I told you, if you had projects, and if you have Zim, and you have dinar, and they don't offer you the contract rate on the Iraqi dinar, to go ahead and ask them for it. I understand that there's a contract rate on the dinar. And they'd say yes. And they supposedly, if you do that, they have to give it to you. Kind of a back screen rate at the redemption center. They know it's there. And it's a win-win-win for us to get that rate. Pretty strong rate, too. President Trump, I told you guys this a couple weeks ago, was trying to get Iraq to increase that rate a little bit by increasing their per barrel of oil price that they're selling their oil for. And I don't know that that's happened. And you know what? It really doesn't matter how high it is. It'll be terrific. It'll be a great rate. That's all we need to know. Rates have been solid on the screens through yesterday. I don't know about today, but through yesterday. And I think that we are in a good position right now. Yeah, I'd hoped we'd had a celebration call tonight. This is pre-celebration. We don't have the numbers yet, but I do believe if we should get started with numbers tomorrow or Saturday and get started with exchanges. If we don't start tomorrow, should start over the weekend, which is to me Saturday, Sunday. So that's what we're hearing in terms of the timing of this, our new timeline. I'm really kind of excited about it going finally, because it looks like everything is really complete. Everything appears to be done. And the announcements that we're looking to hear, when President Trump, I believe it was yesterday, said, was it yesterday? Was it Tuesday he said that he was going to be making an earth-shattering announcement in a few days. Few is usually 3 days. And yeah, I'm looking for it tomorrow. I believe he made that announcement to us on Tuesday, and I brought it up on the call. And I think that means that we're looking good for him to make that announcement out of Iraq tomorrow. So I'm going to be up in the morning looking for that. I usually watch One American News or Newsmax. I don't really watch Fox, but it'll be on Fox or Fox Business probably. And, guys, that will be the starting off point for us. Now, we would probably get the numbers out, put it on the website, of course, send out an email blast to everybody that wants a toll-free number to make sure you have it. Some people, they may not have emails for. They're supposed to send out the emails so we get them, and then we can, call the call center with the 800 number and so on, and go right in and set our appointments, right? Well, what if they don't have your email, or you've changed it and they don't have your new one? That's where we come in. We're supposed to fill in the blanks on the big call and let everybody know what it is. I was hoping I'd get the number before the call tonight and be able to share it on the big call live. Didn't happen. But we probably need President Trump to make this announcement first, tomorrow. So let's hope it is tomorrow. Let's hope it's around 10. Don't hold me to the time exactly. I've heard it should be made tomorrow morning, around 10 Eastern Daylight Time. So we'll see. We'll see. I think we're that close, though, to letting this thing fly, letting it go. And I want you guys to know, Sue is doing her best to